But like I'm like, oh, I should leave this sit for a few days and post it when there's a slow time, and it's like, throw it up. So yeah, we're living on the edge.
We're living on the edge.
How are my levels?
Your levels are amazing.
You're not
incredible.
Homebrew Skype app. We're gonna have an official Skype app if you're on Verizon when they finally launch the thing. Lord knows when that'll be.
Is it an official Skype app or is it integrated?
Yeah. It's an official Skype app. I don't know where it does and is not fully integrated off the top of my head. It's the same POS as BB and a Droid.
I feel like you're cursing at me.
No one can see Keith because Keith is off the air.
I am off the air because now it says I'm logged into to a mobile app, but I'm definitely not. I definitely logged out. It's Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan broke Ustream.
Keith, this is why we can't have nice things.
I forgot how to do picture-in-picture.
I
don't even know what I put in there.
There we go. All right, I'm back. I'm back. So
you're using Ustream Producer, right?
Yeah, but no, I know how to do it. I remember how to do it, but I don't have any interesting pictures to put in my.
Oh. Too bad.
Yeah. Too bad.
Oh, there's Keith. He has 5 viewers. So cute.
Mm.
Oh, he's up to 9 now. Okay. Well, I think it's time.
Don't be mad, dude. Don't
Why do we
be
have more
mad.
people in the chat than watching us? What's that?
Huh? What do you want?
Okay, seriously, guys, send us introductions. PalmCast@PreCentral.net. It's podcast@PreCentral.net. Or you can call us and leave them as a voicemail if you want. The number to do that is 877-624-9162, extension 222. 877-624-9162, extension 222.
222.
And start your voicemail with, "Hey Phil, this is for Dieter." She's the one that checks that these days. By the way, we're going to talk about the Fox News thing, but actually, no, I'll save it for the podcast.
Yes. We'll have plenty to say about that.
Is anyone distracted by the front of Dieter's hair today?
What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I was distracted by Dieter's hair.
Right?
What?
What?
Dude.
It's very aggressive.
It is. I feel like you're in my face and I don't like it.
Your hair is like...
Oh my god, I just got done snapping my last kitten's neck. If I had... Oh my god!
We have a new puppy in the office. A little Maltese. It's very cute. His name is Panda. His name actually is Panda.
No. No.
A little tiny little white dog named Panda. He's very cute.
Evil Panda.
Okay.
All right, let's do this silent thing. She's so defensive.
Dude.
I'm sorry.
You're failing at silent.
Okay.
All right, giggle break.
All right, I'm starting the recording over. Greetings, mobile accomplishers. Welcome to the PalmCast. This is what episode is this? 130?
Yes, 130.
130 for Tuesday, December 21st, 2010. I strongly suspect this is the last PalmCast you're going to get for a while, unless Derek wants to do one in my absence. We'll see. We'll see. So anyway,
I generally
Saber.
ignore you anyway.
Now, I want to go out there and say that this is not PalmCast 134. He was saying it's 130 for today's date.
Right.
I got confused because we went from 130 to 134, and I thought I fell asleep somewhere along the way.
That's Keith Newman. We also have Derek Kessler.
Month, yes.
And we're here to talk about Palm, WebOS, leaks, apps, everything that you could possibly want to know about. Well, no, everything that we can tell you about what you possibly could want to know.
Well, this is RumorCast, right?
We have got a boatload of rumors, a crazy amount of rumors, and we should set up a scale of how much we believe in these rumors. Since there's so many, we can end each little section with our scale of 1 to 10 on the rumor scale.
Right.
Okay.
What is 10? 10 is
absolutely. We think it's completely
10
plausible.
it has already happened.
Wow.
10 it has already happened.
Yeah, or has been announced.
Well,
So
then
it's not really a rumor.
rumor
Wouldn't that be 11? This rumor scale goes to 11.
Oh,
right. So
11
yeah,
already happened.
10 means you're like 99% sure that you expect it. Like you'd be shocked if it didn't happen.
Well, then why don't we just go with percentages if that's what you're gonna?
Right. Let's do that. I don't know what this 1 to 10 crap is. Why everyone's got this 1 to 10 thing?
Let's give them grades. I give this rumor an A+.
Yeah, there we go.
That's fewer than 10.
And since I am a teacher and my grading scale is already arbitrary,
Oh, fair
I'm
enough.
good at this.
All right.
No, literally, I'm an arbitrary guy.
Congratulations, you got a G.
Hey, Malcolm, you're
You get a triangle.
No, seriously, one year a kid got fish sticks and a purple crayon for a grade.
You know what else is weird and arbitrary?
HP's new trademark filings?
That's right.
Bazinga! Is that like a real segue, or did you guys plan that?
No, that was just a totally off-the-cuff, awesome segue.
Dude, you guys are so in tune with each other. That's love.
It really is. Deep and abiding love. Might, M-Y-T-E, Gist, G-Y-S-T, and Veer, V-E-E-R.
Yeah.
They could apply to any of the following: computers, computer hardware, computer software, computer peripherals, computer and communications networking hardware and software, computer hardware, namely memory cards, computer hardware for telecommunications, computer monitors, computer keyboards, mobile digital electronic devices, mobile computers, handheld computers, portable computers, tablet computers, personal digital assistants, electronic organizers, electronic notepads, computer memories, telephones, mobile telephones, pagers, smartphones, video phones, mobile and handheld communication devices for sending and receiving data, information, and other digital content, including audio and video content, namely handheld computers, mobile phones, and smartphones, photographic and video cameras, audio players, video players, multimedia players, computer communications software, namely pre-recorded computer programs for personal information management, database management software, character recognition software, telecommunications software, telephony management software, electronic mail and messaging software, paging software, database synchronization software, computer programs for accessing, browsing, and searching online databases, computer game programs, video game software, downloadable computer and video games, downloadable music, audio, video, and entertainment-related content, computer carrying cases, accessories, parts, and cases for all of the foregoing sold as a unit, instruction manuals in electronic form supplied with the foregoing sold as a unit, apparatus for recording, transmission, or reproduction of data, text, graphics, sound, or images, blank magnetic data carriers, pre-recorded magnetic data carriers featuring software for use in a connection with handheld communication devices, namely mobile phones and smartphones, calculating machines, data processing equipment.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is how we get to an hour on the PalmCast.
Dude, nowhere in that listing did they mention toasters.
No, they did not. You know what I really want to know? I want to know, is the mic, the gist, or the veer the instructions, manuals, and electronic form supplied with the foregoing sold as a unit? I'm thinking that's the veer.
I don't know. We've been, okay, you never know with trademark filings. They you know, apply for trademarks for all sorts of stuff.
I think you just kicking me in my teeth would have been less painful than that.
Yeah, RIM applied for a trademark for the black pad, and it turns out to not be that.
Then again, if I had seen a trademark for Pixie before it launched, I would have been like, psh, whatever.
Pixie? It's missing an E.
I do kind of like Might, though. Like Mighty Might, like, powerful.
I'm going to go on the record and say I don't like any of them.
I like Might. Might's okay.
I'm a hater. I don't like it all.
Just like you get the gist of it, kind of. They are trying very hard, right? Like they're not.
They're trying very hard to make sure that this trademark applies to everything under the sun.
I want to read that list of the things that these trademarks could apply to again.
I want to shoot you in the throat.
So, yeah. Rumor scale, I'm giving it, we're doing percentages or grades?
I'm giving this a purple crown.
Purple crayon?
Seriously? It's getting a -19.
I give it a panda. One full panda. Yeah, I mean...
That's what we're doing, the panda scale.
11,000 pandas. Whoa.
They have trademarks for phone
trademarks happen all the time.
They may or may not apply. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't, this is like a so off the wall, who cares kind of thing. Like, does a name really change anything?
Well,
yes, I hate to say it, but I'm pretty sure the Pixie would have sold more phones if it wasn't called the Pixie.
You think?
Yes.
Fair enough.
I think it would have sold more phones if it weren't a steaming pile of crap.
Oh, dude, come on.
Do you know how many phones have sold
On
as
Sprint,
steaming
on
piles
Sprint,
of crap?
on Sprint.
The Pixie Minus is
Yeah.
crime against smartphones. Yes.
So, that's what I mean, like, I don't think Pixie would have, I owned one and promptly returned it because it was what it was. Worthless. You can't have a smartphone without Wi-Fi. It's just, there's nothing, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, the lack of Wi-Fi is, like, mind-boggling.
It's just, you know what, now you're making me angry. I wasn't even angry when I started this.
Well, let's talk about the big rumor from Engadget, one of them. They got the code name for the Palm Pad, but before we get to that, I want to get to the thing that they sort of mentioned off the cuff secondly, which is that there was going to be a, quote, low-end teen phone without a physical keyboard coming to Sprint, Verizon, and AT&T. And we had previously reported on PreCentral that Todd Bradley, in a all-hands employee call, had said that they were going to be releasing the, quote, smallest smartphone ever on SFR next month. So do I believe this scale? I'm giving this one 20 pandas. I'm giving it a B+. I believe they're going to release a very thin, tiny phone, and it's not going to have a physical keyboard.
I'm gonna give this one 12 pandas.
Okay.
And simply because
don't rate how you feel about the existence of such a device, or whether Palm should be releasing it, or what you think of it. Rate it on the reliability of the rumor.
Well, the reliability of the rumor is they haven't released anything that has a virtual keyboard, and I don't know if they're going to offer it on a low-end phone first.
No, it didn't say it would be first.
I don't think that they're concerned about having the virtual keyboard be on the low-end phone first.
No. I'm going to rate this as a stapler.
Okay.
Now, hold on. Electric or manual?
Oh, manual all the way.
Red swing line?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Seriously, this is I don't know.
I really believe this. I really believe that we're going to have this little phone coming. Now, the question is that the replacement for the Pixie, and that's the Pixie 2 stuff that we've been hearing about, or is there also going to be a Pixie 2?
Well, no, I think Pixie 2 is going to be the form factor candy bar with QWERTY.
Okay.
So you think it's going to be the Pixie but tuned?
Right.
I would be very much tempted by a tuned Pixie, a Pixie with a power processor. That would be pretty awesome.
Well, like I said, it's one of those things where it's great that they would get out multiple form factors. I just don't want it to be like this low-end piece of crap thing.
Yeah, well, we are...
I mean, slabs are selling well. Hey, anyone here the iPhone? I mean, if you do one well and you make it a workhorse, you have the ability to have a hot seller. But if you make it a piece of crap and people just deadpan it from the beginning,
What if it's not a piece of crap? What if it's a pre-2, but like slice off the keyboard, but you've got just a really tiny, thin, glass screened,
Yeah,
device.
phone for teens doesn't mean that it's weak. It doesn't mean that it's akin.
Whoa, I was just about to say, what about the kin? I mean, so yeah, that's something that's like, it's got to be done right. The smaller your screen gets, the better the keyboard, the worse the keyboard gets. You have to be careful with those kinds of. It has to be like the right mixture. You see what I'm saying? Like, you just can't have. Some people are like, oh, 4-inch slabs are too big, but I feel like 3.2-inch are too small. They've got to hit that right sweet spot with the virtual keyboard.
I gotta call this out. Rod Whitby in the chat said we should call it the Palm Brutta, Little Brutta. Nobody remembers that from Homestar Runner, Little Brutta? No? All right. Wow, that just the worst crickets ever in my entire life there.
No, I didn't even give you crickets, dude. That's how much it sucked.
You gave me silent crickets?
Yeah.
Wow.
The crickets were stunned. It was that bad.
I am withholding judgment on this little magical device.
And Rod, and to his credit, Rod said it was Dieter and not me who said it.
He said it in the chat. It counts.
Doesn't matter. You said it and committed to it.
Yes. You made it public.
We're moving on.
This is going to be broadcast.
Oh, no, you're not moving on. You're going to pay for this the whole time.
Brother.
Brother.
I like calling it Little Brutta. I'm going to withhold judgment on the Brutta until it's announced or until we get more details on it. It's all about the implementation, and like I said, the Pixie is one of those phones where like I really want to use it because I really want to get a thin, small little phone since I'm basically carrying 2 phones around with me now, and to have one of them, have both of them be relatively big is a pain. So it'd be great to be able to make the WebOS phone really teeny tiny.
Okay.
We have more leaks
Yes.
or rumors. So Palm, I guess it looks like a PowerPoint type slide of a shot that the Bluetooth keyboard with a code name of Topaz for the tablet itself. Right. I mean, and we know that code names are just code names. The Pre was originally called the Castle. You have the Pixie, which was that the Rook? No.
I don't remember.
I don't remember what it was either. But, Topaz
EOS.
is obviously...
Pixie was the
EOS. EOS, right.
And we thought that Pixie was actually the code name, and it would be called the EOS. Because who would name a phone Pixie?
Well, they couldn't call it the EOS because it was a phone.
Right. It was already a camera.
And a Volkswagen.
Right. So the tablet is a Bluetooth one, and it doesn't just work with the tablet in theory. It's Bluetooth, so it does have WebOS function keys to it.
And Windows function keys.
Right. Yep. So that's, it's not just for that, and it does have so it can be used for any number of HP devices.
Can I tell you that I spent probably like 20 minutes staring at the low resolution image of this keyboard trying to discern what the buttons were, just until my eyes crossed?
I think there's a Q and a D and an H on there.
The number pad is kind of cool. It's down there in the lower right, and it's got like 2 big fat left and right buttons and 2 little up and down buttons.
By the number pad, you mean the
directional arrow keys? Yeah,
arrow pad. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I noticed that it was kind of like not your traditional like 3 on the bottom, 1 up top. It was more like we got up and down, centered, and left and right to the left and right of it. I mean, that would take some use to get into. I don't think it's an issue. What I was really psyched about was that it's really really svelte looking, right?
Yes,
it's got that curve going to it. So if this is any indication of how they can make their hardware sexy, that's good.
Well, and the other thing is that the design of the Topaz won't have any buttons on the front. It's said to, quote, echo the design of the keyboard, which leads us to not believing the next rumor on our list. The big rumor that hit today. Clayton Morris over at Fox News posted up, said that he received spec sheets and details of the Palm Pad, and it was going to be released at CES, and he listed a whole bunch of specs, and also had an image that showed, a line drawing of the device, and then it said optional Palm Pad dock next to it.
Aren't they not going to be at CES this year?
They are going to be at CES. They're going to have their standard room.
Right.
But there's a whole lot of stuff packed into this rumor, so let's take it slow. We'll get to CES in a second.
Oh,
First,
well, by the way, how many pandas on the keyboard, by the way?
Oh, keyboard panda, 9 pandas. I believe it. Oh, what's our sure thing panda count?
Let's say 344 pandas minus 8 for your lack of brother earlier.
Okay, fair enough.
Right.
I'm going to give it 3 museums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's close. I mean, that's almost as many as my pandas, but not.
The line drawing is completely and 100% identical to the tech spec sheet that HP put out when it put out the Windows 7 running Slate.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like the Slate. The dock looks exactly like the Slate. The numbers pointing to all the little different features on the device are the exact same as on the spec sheet.
Yeah, I was reading the description, and it's saying it has like rounded edges and whatnot, and then I go up and I look up that, and like, that doesn't have rounded edge.
The only thing that changed is that number 6 got changed from optional HP dock to optional HP PalmPad dock. So one of two things happened. Somebody
Fox using their socks.
Okay, hang on. Well, that's the next step. I'm going to get to that in a second. Somebody either just somebody in HP like slapped this image up on the internal specs just so they'd have a pretty picture. Two, somebody faked and doctored something before they sent it off to Clayton Morris over at Fox News. I don't know which. My sense on that is that I have no idea. It would be weird of them to put up an image they doctored themselves. So the question is the person who sent these specs, were they trying to throw them for a loop, or is it just that somebody was sloppy inside HP, or whatever? I don't know. As far as Fox News and everybody making fun of Fox News, Fox News and the way they run their website is, and their technical stuff, I don't have a whole long track record of reliability for that, but I separate that from whatever you think of their television network. Although Clayton Morris does appear on the TV network. And he doesn't have a terrible track record either. And he did defend it a little bit on This Week in Tech today. As far as it being released at CES, the overriding conventional wisdom is that it's not going to happen, that Palm is not going to be unveiling this thing at CES.
Raise your hand if you've gotten an invitation to a Palm event at CES this year.
Brutta.
Yeah. Oh, it's not funny anymore now that you're saying it.
It's totally funny.
Yeah. Now that you're like dissing yourself, no, stop, dude.
I'm not dissing myself.
You ruined it.
So anyway, whether Palm does anything at CES, we don't know, but it's definitely not going to be this. They haven't announced any, press conferences or anything yet, or sent out any invites. So with all of that under our belt, I guess we have the specs and the claim that there's going to be 4 different versions, and it's going to be thinner than an iPad. It's going to weigh 1.25 pounds. It's going to have a USB 3.0 port, HDMI out, and a multi-switch. Like, it seems like it's a mishmash of the specs for the Slate and a desire for, magical specs on the next device.
There's some things we can go through, like a USB 3.0 port. I'm going to count that out right now.
I'm going to say that's possible.
No.
Yeah, why not?
I don't see it happening.
I don't see why not. I mean,
I can see mini HDMI out, but I don't see a USB 3.0 port in the device when there's still very few computers that support HDMI 3.
Well, I mean, my take on that is that USB 3.0 is going to be pretty much standard very quickly, and that HP is just looking to the future on that, if in fact there will be a USB port in this thing.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. The fact that it's the same image, for me, goes completely out the window.
Just you're done with that? You don't give credence to anything in there?
As soon as it was posted, without the 2 updates that were posted to it, I just felt like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't feel like, the Slate itself is already a 1-year-old hardware.
Yeah.
So and the Slate is even running its incompatible hardware with WebOS.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
processor.
true
Yeah,
as
with the
well.
processor, right?
Yeah.
Processor is not is right. So honestly, I wouldn't even give this a grilled cheese and finger paints. That's how bad it is.
The specs don't seem like crazy out of bounds to me. It just is like, okay, there are a bunch of specs and whatever. I mean, it almost doesn't matter what the specs are as long as it's like on par with the iPad in most cases, and they get a couple of things where they can go like, oh, hey, look at us, we're better than the iPad, whatever it is, then it'll be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess to be honest, when it comes to the PalmPad, I really don't even care. You know, give me HDMI out. Yeah, I'd love an SD card slot. I'd love to have a USB port on there so that it can host, other devices and import.
Just give
stuff.
me WebOS on a big screen, a
Yep.
slim form factor, and I'll be happy.
No,
Yes.
no, and this is where I disagree. It's kind of like, and I'm gonna. This is, the tab is great, and I do like it.
Galaxy
But
Tab.
yeah, it's a really great device. It's better to me than my iPad. But the iPad is falling under the same trap as the tab is. It's the same OS on a larger screen.
Okay, I don't mean just WebOS bigger. Part of this rumor was that it was going to be running WebOS 2.5.1.
Okay.
So
Okay.
WebOS
All right,
that
so
is designed to work on a bigger tab. So there are going to have to be changes made to make it fully
That
functional.
point one kind of doesn't really help the credence of this whole thing.
Unless
The
that's their
2.5.1.
internal thing that they're working with.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're gonna, they'll launch it with whatever it is, and if it's 0.1 or 0.3, or as Mike Member in the chat says, 2.5.1.1.4.6.7.1,
2.5.
like they're gonna whatever the point update is, it'll be whatever like they get to before they release it, and so for them, 3 to 4 months before the thing is released to say it's going to be 2.5.1 is ridiculous.
Right. Now, like I said, I just don't want to see WebOS that's on my pre go to a tablet. I want to see some, now with, 150% more awesome. Like, for instance, and look, I know we saw it as a concept thing at Dev Day, but I want to see, a different mail view. I want to see, because of the size, I want to see something awesome. I don't want to see just an expanded mail client that is out for WebOS right now.
Yeah, they definitely are going to need to update a bunch of apps to support the view on a larger screen, and it sounds like with Enyo, they definitely have got the groundwork laid for that.
Enyo face, remember that?
That was. But I'll be honest, like WebOS, like of any phone OS that I would really desperately want to see just blown up on a big screen, WebOS is still tops because it's so easy to get to like the important settings, right?
Yeah, right, and that's another thing. Like, you can get the easy settings, not on iOS. iOS is just a PETA to get the settings.
Yeah.
Android, you can do it with widgets. It's nice.
No, you can't. It's still a pain.
Nah, if you have the right launchers and things like that. But that's just it. It's a pain to get. If you
have to have the right launchers and the right widgets and everything. WebOS out of the box.
Well, but hold on. You need
All right, hang on. If you want to connect to a new Wi-Fi network or an old, or choose between two different Wi-Fi networks on Android, and you're in an app, I'm counting, in the best case scenario, I'm counting tap the home button, swipe to your widget page, tap your shortcut that you are smart enough to know to take you to your Wi-Fi settings, scroll down, tap the Wi-Fi network you want to connect to. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 taps, right?
5 with a swipe.
1, 2, 3, 4 taps.
Okay.
WebOS is swipe, tap, tap. So it's 3 taps. There's 3 actions, right?
One extra tap, no.
No, there's a big difference though, because then there's a 5th action on Android, which is hit the back button or hold down the home button to go back to where you were in the first place. You are switching context on Android to home, settings, and then back again. You've got 3 conceptual, like, where am I, what am I doing changes. Whereas WebOS, the app is always still sitting there. You just swipe down the device menu, tap Wi-Fi, tap the network you want to connect to, and you're done.
Can I?
No.
May I? Can I? So I bought an app called Switch Pro Widget, which I can set that if I touch the Wi-Fi icon, so I'll go here, the normal Android bar that's up top. And I know we're not trying to get into this and touches, but if I touch the Wi-Fi icon to turn it on, I can also trigger it to open up my Wi-Fi connections.
Right. But you had to buy that to make it do that.
Correct.
No, that's fair to say that you need to do aftermarket customizations to make it efficient. But I'm still saying that you're changing context. You can change your Wi-Fi network in WebOS without ever leaving the app.
Yes, and that's sweet. I agree, and that's the beauty of it.
Really, I just want to see BlackBerry's QNX. That's what I want. the playbook.
The playbook is actually dead sexy.
No, the playbook looks awesome, and the OS looks awesome and really, really well designed and well architected. They are very smart.
The iCandy is there. I need that iCandy for WebOS tablet to be there.
Do we have anything else we want to say about? Oh, what are we giving the Topaz? I'm giving it 25 pandas.
Wow.
With the side of asparagus.
No, I'm not. I told you, I'm not even giving it grilled cheese and finger paints. That's how much I just test this rumor.
No, I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, just I said Topaz. I had the wrong window open. Yeah, no, I don't like. I don't like
about the Topaz, not the
Fox
Fox
News.
News one.
Oh, the Topaz.
I don't know if
We're talking about the keyboard one.
The keyboard just gets 25 pandas.
No, the one that came with the keyboard, not the one that came from Fox.
The Topaz is happening. We're not stupid. I mean, it's already been said. You're getting a slate. I mean,
this isn't coming out at CES. The specs are not quite detailed enough.
It's going to be a tablet with a flat screen.
Yeah. We should move on in the worst way.
Yes. So it turns out that the Verizon Pre 2 actually exists.
Yeah. Who'da thunk?
Yes. And it popped up on eBay, of all places. Apparently the person who had it did not know what they had and had it advertised as a Palm Pre Plus, although it apparently has a bad ESN, which requires some working to make it work. Advertised it as being good for parts, which if you can find a Pre 2 that you need to fix, you have a phone to use for parts.
Well, you could plus you could pre-2 up
you could attempt to an original pre, but that's still a work in progress.
In any case.
Yes, but in any case, it exists. There are pictures. It's real.
Yeah. Now, we know for a fact that the Pre-2 was in Verizon systems, and then it was taken out of Verizon systems.
Yes.
We also know that it's still coming in the coming months.
Maybe.
No, we know. I asked Palm, I'm like, so what's the deal? And they're like, no, it's still coming in the coming months.
Ah, okay. When was the first time they said coming months?
Whenever they announced it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was what, 2 months ago?
All I know is this thing better have good working GPS. Not that diverse.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, but hey, good to see it pop up on eBay.
Yes. Separately, the Pre-2 is actually physically available on Rogers.
What a weird, quiet little launch.
Yeah. I'm really glad that the Pre-2
I think the first thing I saw from Palm about it was a tweet the day after.
Yeah.
And then, but I mean, HP had it on their site, and Rogers had it on their site, and so on.
And supposedly you can order it now, and it has reasonable pricing. It's
reasonable
going
pricing.
for what is it?
$99
Canadian for a 3-year contract, $349.99 for a 2-year contract, or just straight $399.99 on a 1-year contract or month-to-month item.
And then I think you can get an off contract for even more if you are really
so inclined.
Yeah. My session expired on my Pre-2 link.
Oh no.
So is this really any different, this device, than what we've seen with SFR or?
No, it's a straight up Pre-2.
It's the same phone.
Right. So the question is the pricing justified?
Yeah, sure. $99 is fine. I mean, they're selling the Focus for $150. They're selling the Galaxy S Captivate for $99 Canadian. The Dell Streak's only $149. I mean, all these are on the 3-year their plans, so it's totally in line. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if 99 was a little bit too much, but
no, I have no problem.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's $99. It's a decent phone. I wish I could have one.
I wish you could have one too.
Yeah. I wish I could have one on Sprint.
I'm going to go ahead and say that there's still a glimmer of hope for you.
For a pre-2 on Sprint?
Just a tiny little glimmer.
At this point, I wouldn't even bother getting it.
No, I wouldn't bother I wish I could have it. I wouldn't buy it.
With 12 months left to go, before a bevy of devices are coming out, I would not bank, sinking my money into a contract.
No.
You're proud of yourself for the word bevy?
Sure.
Yeah. Just
Sure. Yeah, okay.
being proud of yourself for using the word hat. It's just sort of...
That would be our physical device news. I'm proud of myself for using the word physical.
You want to talk about other news, software news?
Yes, I want you to talk about openness.
Okay, yeah. I got inspired yesterday. There was an Android engineer who was saying, don't call it rooting with the Nexus S because we just let you do that anyway. It's just open to get the access there. And wouldn't it be great if carriers, manufacturers all did this? And, well, two things. One, well, that's how WebOS has been this whole time. And two, I just sort of went on just like a little overview of what the difference between hacking on Android and hacking on WebOS is. Android, you need to flash. WebOS, you don't. Android developers often sort of get stuck in the uncomfortable position of wanting to release cool stuff, but they end up kind of having to release proprietary code in order to do it, whereas WebOS, that happens much less often because of the patching system. But really, like, sort of the point is that, here's Google. They're a behemoth. They've got gigantic market share. They've got huge amounts of power and connections. And when they want to be able to have their phones be open to hacking, they're reduced to a blog by one of their engineers basically like just sort of saying, wouldn't it be nice if you guys did this? Whereas little tiny Palm is doing it and has been doing it.
Well, okay. So there are a couple of different companies that are doing this. So let's go with the three big heavy hitters for Android. You've got Motorola, you've got HTC, you've got now Samsung. LG's coming up, but let's go with just the three main. And because you have this saturation of the market, Motorola and HTC have completely locked down what it's their bootloaders, so the ability to gain command line access or rooting the phones. With Samsung, they're wide open actually. Their bootloaders are not locked down, and HTC at one point was not. Motorola has pretty much always been. Yeah. Pretty much. Locked down from the beginning. And the truth of the matter is, I think this is taken too literally. I think he's trying to say that not being able to root your phone is not at odds with being able to really open it up and customize your phone. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's not, and the way WebOS is built, that's a different story. So it's a little bit more open, and he feels that gaining root access is you're exploiting the phone security-wise.
Well, he's saying that in some cases, in order to get root access, you have to exploit security holes on the phone, and isn't that a shame? Wouldn't it be nice if it was just open and available the way they do it with the Nexus line?
Well, there's proprietary software that obviously there's an issue. They're protecting IP. HTC is protecting IP. Motorola.
Yeah, but it never stops anybody.
No, but it's getting progressively harder now. It took them quite a while to do the latest G2, and it was pretty tightly locked up. The thing is, the more tight it gets, the more it makes these guys want to go out and do it. These hackers, and they just always get through.
Hey, Rothoof just found a Palm Pre Plus 2 dummy unit for Verizon on eBay. So if you want a dummy unit, an empty unit, you can totally get it right now.
That might make me feel better.
Yeah, you can just hold it, pretend.
I wonder if the dummy unit has a plastic or a glass screen.
I bet it's glass.
Ooh, that would feel so good.
Now, let me go from from our point of view. So if our users here and our listeners, if they like Android, they would be just as inclined to root and achieve flashing, and they would have no problem with it, right? Because we have a fairly intelligent audience.
Right.
But that same thing goes, even though gaining command line access on WebOS is easier than, say, rooting and flashing, patching isn't as easy. I know it's been streamlined, it's fairly simple, but there are still steps you have to be fairly computer savvy.
You think that patching is easier or is harder than flashing a brand new
No.
ROM?
No. I think what I'm trying to say is it's got the same. It requires the same kind of steps of some sort.
There's a fairly high hurdle for that. Yeah.
There's drivers installation, like Novacom drivers. Things aren't seamless, and because it's like jailbreaking. You have to go through the hoops for jailbreaking, even especially putting a phone in DCU mode. It's just, and that's just a pain in the ass. But there's just so many things that unless you're completely computer or technically savvy, they're all hurdles to be achieved. Now, are we going to sit here and say, well, rooting and flashing is harder than command line access and installing freeware? And look, it's just you need to be technically savvy to do it.
Right.
But it's all dependent upon the community at hand. It's all dependent upon the effort that's being put into it. We have WebOS internals.
Yeah, the point I was trying to make there is that with Android, because they're so open and they're not flexing their muscle and letting manufacturers and carriers lock stuff down and make it hard to get root access and hack away on the phone.
Right.
That it ends up in this weird situation where the big powerful Google, because they're so open from the outset, means that it's more closed to users, whereas Palm is, since they're a single manufacturer, that they can be more open from the outset, and they can create a system and foster a community that has a different kind of way of hacking that's a little bit more direct.
Right, and I'm going to go right now and say that WebOS community is definitely more white hat than, say, the Android hacking community, which, because they are breaking through proprietary code and bootloaders, it seems more gray hat. You know what I mean? It seems dirtier for some reason. So
right.
In that sense, they're not as open but that's not Android. That's not Android doing it. That is the manufacturers.
That's the manufacturers put them in the position of having to do things that start to skirt the line. Right.
Right.
Like if they followed the Nexus philosophy and this Google engineers philosophy, then there wouldn't be as much of a need to do things that require them to redistribute proprietary code, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Again,
so the question is why can the mighty Google not control their manufacturers? Because
they don't want to.
Yeah, they don't want to. They're in bed with them now. They backpedaled on net neutrality and are now in bed with Verizon on limiting net neutrality. That seems to be what's going on.
Right, and like I said, there are things that and that's why I love using certain ROMs like Cyanogen mod.
Cyanogen is Oh, and that's the other thing I wanted to I tried to make clear in that editorial is I don't want to cast aspersions upon the Cyanogen or anybody that's doing this hacking work on Android. It just sucks that they've got to spend their time getting in instead of spending their time doing cool stuff.
Yeah, and again, without those community, I think that without any of these communities, I don't think we would ever really be very happy with our phones.
Fair enough. Moving on, Derek.
Yes.
Tell us about the next story.
The next story is the WebOS app catalog has been appearing in other countries.
Portugal, Sweden. We got an email that was appearing in Greece as well.
Yes, and it was noted in the comments several other places where it has appeared, which appearing in other countries is good. And it's been in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom and Germany and whatnot. But now it's appearing in countries where Palm does not currently sell WebOS devices.
Honduras, Malaysia, and Singapore.
Sweden, the Philippines.
Now, you only have access to the free apps, though,
Yes,
right?
it's currently only free apps. They don't have the e-commerce expanded to these other countries yet. But it's good to see close to actually almost 1,000 apps. They've got like 985 available in these other countries. That, Palm doesn't have reason officially to make the app catalog available there, but there's no reason not to.
Right.
So yes, good thing.
WebOS 2.0.1 running on a Sprint Pre. Some images leaked in Gadget, and the exhibition is there and working. And then voice styling. About time.
I thought the big news was that the Sprint Music Plus. That looks awesome.
Sprint Music Plus. And they had their Sprint football thing and something else.
Well, you got to say why that's big, right? You have to say why voice dialing is huge.
Because we've been waiting for it since the thing launched.
Right, but it's out there it's leaking for WebOS 2.0 for a pre-minus, but it's not even out there yet for
the pre-2.
The pre-2,
exactly.
Right? Which is crazy.
Also, looks like the boot screen is an HP logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's HP WebOS.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but again, it's these subtle little differences that they're obviously their branding is changing, and that was kind of weird. I remember what device? Oh yeah, it was when with Handspring, right? Handspring in the Trio. Handspring put out the 600, and then they were bought back by Palm and went back to a Palm logo.
And then there was an Access logo for a while after the software split. Yeah.
So it's very weird seeing these. It reminds me of these, the olden days.
The olden days.
Stop it! Remember when you got it?
Remember when I said Brutta? Remember that? That was awesome.
I wiped that from my memory.
John Rubenstein has joined Amazon's board.
Yes, he has.
That's weird, right? That's weird.
What does it mean?
It means that he's reconnecting to the larger consumer electronics industry, and now that he doesn't having to work 26 hours a day to try and keep Palm afloat. That's what it means.
Well, now he's working 26 hours a day to justify HP giving them $1.2 billion for the company.
As long as we get an Amazon Kindle app, I'm happy.
And I'm shocked that has not even spread to this device yet, right?
I mean, they've got HTML apps like that. You can go look at the Kindle on your web browser on your desktop.
Yeah.
But Kindle and the Nook apps should both be on WebOS, and
we've got what do we got? What do we call it? What's the book app that we've got? Kobo, and then there's a Short Cover.
Short Covers was like day one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm even shocked that. Well, no, I'm not shocked that Android has not put out their ebook reader yet.
Yeah, I'm not too shocked by that either.
It's pretty svelte on Android.
There you are with that word again.
Svelte.
Svelte's a good word.
It is a good word.
Or Android.
Keith is feeling all sorts of vocabularious tonight.
Palm's trying to impress developers with their mobile expressionist campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Are you a mobile expressionist, Keith?
That's just it. I'm not. I don't like hipster talk. I don't
You
even know.
aren't an innovative and artistic developer?
Mobile expressionism is where technology meets imagination, where the tech-savvy deliver information and entertainment to smartphones and tablets in inspired ways.
I know. I know what they say it is. Look, I'm not. I can read copy too, but it doesn't mean it's meaningful.
I don't know. Why not? But here's my question: Why expressionism? Why not like cubism or Dadaism? I want to see some mobile Dadaists.
See, now you're just making fun.
I don't want to use a mobile Dada Eyes app.
I kind of do.
It would be painful.
It's pretty exciting.
Look, all right. Look, for them to move forward with this, they need to show the incentive. They need to be real. Like they can't. This whole work being artsy thing. It's not working.
Yeah, it's like I said 2 weeks ago. It's a start, but it needs to be Hey, you seem like you are an artistic and innovative developer. You want a bucket of cash to make an application for us?
Look, yes, just get these developers on board. Be their BFFs.
Yeah.
Like, take them out to dinner. Tell them how pretty their hair smells. I don't care what you do. Get
Well, how do you
them.
know they're not doing that? They're doing that, and
I
then
don't, and I don't, and I don't, and I don't. I don't. I can only comment on what I see what I see right in front of me. But it's like, stop with this artsy. You're not kidding anyone. Get the good apps. How is it that Microsoft has now 4,000 apps?
Yeah, they're going to pass. Well, I've been waiting for the day they pass WebOS in terms of number of apps available.
That won't be very long from now.
Nope.
Lisa said the reason that they're not whining and dining developers is because she can only go on so many dates per week. Well,
This
played,
goes back to the Hippocrates thing, from my rant a couple of weeks ago, right? I mean, it's you got to get the indie guys on board, and that seems what they're doing here. Like they got the guys that made Paratrooper, which is awesome. That was a nice early win. Flickr Mundo.
They started strong with the indie apps. Yeah, they started strong.
Yeah.
Indie apps are great, but I don't mean to disparage the indie developer because
They need both.
90% of my apps are indie apps, but it takes the big name apps to get people to buy your device. When I was trying to show this months ago, trying to show the pre-auth to people, like, so does it have Shazam? No. Oh, Sling Player?
Bring, bring.
No. How about
bring,
Netflix?
Bring.
No. Who's there? Is that
yeah, we're going to do the role playing, but I couldn't think of another company. Let's have some good news.
Some good news?
Some cheerful things. We have awarded
yes.
the Best of 2010 awards.
Mm-hmm.
And the best overall app went to?
Freeware.
Freeware, no surprise.
Mm-hmm.
WebOS Internals won the best developer. Coding, our own Jason Robitaille, came runner-up. Angry Birds is the best game. I mean, go take a look at the post. A lot of really great stuff. I'm really happy to see. I'm going to say I'm really happy to see some people, and then other people are going to be sad that I'm not mentioning them. But I'm really happy to see BFG Maps get the best location-based or GPS app because, man, Google Maps on WebOS is a travesty.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I mean, this dude is just making something that totally just puts it behind the woodshed, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's using
happy to see
the same
Facebook
API.
for Palm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really, really high-quality app, and I mean, kudos to Palm for putting that together. Kevin, good job, man. Who else should we shout out here?
I want to give a shout-out to Hippocrates for winning Best Health App of 2010.
They won't win in 2011.
I want to give a shout out to TKN. He's awesome.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won Best Podcaster of 2009.
Yeah, not even that.
Ancient Frog for making the most beautiful app of 2010. Like they totally deserve that too.
That was a pretty app. That was a real, you know what I mean? Like in terms of like bringing it to the little screen.
You know what? Sports Live by More Solutions. More Solutions has cranked out a lot of apps, and we don't give them as much attention as we should. I think, but like Sports Live is a really good app.
Yes, it is. It's everything you could possibly want in your dashboard. And speaking of your dashboard, best use of WebOS notifications. No surprise here. Music Player Remix.
Yep, for sure.
There is no app that has come close to using not to disparage any of our other developers, but Dan has taken what you can do with the notifications and pumped it up to 12. So, yeah.
For sure. Sorry, I got a phone vibrating and I don't know which.
I just wasn't going to say 12. I don't know. Now you're using a number scale I don't understand.
12 is more than 11.
Okay, I got it now.
Yeah. But by and large, actually every app that won and all the developers that won were more than deserving. And we wish we could have given it to more people, but you can only have one best developer and one best app.
That's right.
So congratulations to everybody who was nominated and everybody who won. And look forward to doing this again next year.
Our own favorite apps of the week. I am going to go with Beam Out, which is a fun little game where you roll a UFO around on the ground and pick up little bonus points. But more exciting is you get to like slam into sheep and make them turn into points as well. And I hate
You're
Right.
loading sheep with a UFO.
Right, and why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, I mean seriously, and pigs you can bang into pigs too.
Great.
It
Another
looks
game where
okay.
I'm targeting pigs.
Okay,
Yeah, but you don't blow the pigs up; they just get in your way.
Oh, okay.
But the real action here is
Don't they always?
banging into the sheep. It's
Stop saying banging into the sheep.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were gonna go there.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Time.
I'm not going to tell you any of the stories about from where I'm from.
Wow. Okay. Somebody else do another app before this goes all wrong.
I'm into Active Cards 2.0.
Oh.
Yeah. Seriously, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of made that at a glance thing for me a reality. And it's got basically Active Card is an app. You open it up, but you just leave it on the top, and you can swipe between 3 screens, and it's nice. You've got like weather at a glance. You have news at a glance. You can do quick launchers at the bottom. I think it has up to 8 icons you can do there.
Yeah, what happens if I launch an app from ActiveCard and WebOS 2.0? I bet it'd be nice if you could set it to launch it in a separate card, but I bet it stacks up.
Probably.
I'll have to check that out.
You think it stacks up within
The Active Card.
The Active Card, or does it know that it can be a parent app?
I don't know. I'm going to reinstall it right now, and we're going to have a live demonstration of WebOS 2.0 while you.
I like the way you think, son. I like the way you think.
Wow.
I mean, except for when you say stuff like brother.
Yeah. Also, don't call me son.
Oh.
This just
Okay.
got really awkward.
Derek, what's your app?
My app is Picture News.
Ooh,
It just came out yesterday, and it's a sort of a new way to get the news. It's not an RSS reader. It gets all of its news from Yahoo News, but it gives it to you in neat little thumbnails with their. Let's turn this down just a little bit more. Neat little thumbnails with just.
That was real pretty. It's real pretty.
Yes, it's real pretty. And
Active Cards is on sale for Christmas, by the way.
oh yeah.
$2.99, right?
And so you've got all sorts of different categories that you can look at, but even each category scrolls within itself back and forth. And you want to look at something, you just tap on it. It loads up and gives you the summary.
It reminds me of Pulse Reader that's out there.
And then you can look at it on the Yahoo News website. I wish it would direct us to the mobile website, but this is the first release. So it's pretty slick. Honestly, I kind of want it as an RSS reader because it's that slick. And I'm also going to give a mention to Bad Kitty. I've finally made the switch over.
How are you feeling about that switch?
I'm very comfortable with the switch. There are a couple of features that I'd like it to carry over from other Twitter clients. I've talked to the developer, and he's looking at some of them. But TweetMe had gotten to the point where its notifications were broken.
Yeah.
To the point where it forgot that I had already looked at those, and every 15 minutes I was getting a new notification.
Yeah.
And TweetMe it's become abandonware. I haven't seen any
ActiveCard
updates.
is not being super awesome to me in OS 2.0. I'm just going to come out and say that.
But Bad Kitty, I'm really liking it. And I'm probably going to give Spaz a try in a week or so, just to give everything else a fair shake instead of settling into a routine with something. But I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing in Kitty.
Yeah, so I'll tell you right now, Tweed for me was good, but I feel like Bad Kitty kind of has a better. I just feel like the UI is more intuitive.
I'm Spaz, although I'm not happy about it because they still insist on making new tweets yellow.
Yeah, I was just about to say that I can't afford it. Just that the color scheme, it's irritating to me.
Yeah.
I personally I really liked Tweed when it first came out. I just feel like it's really slow right now.
Yeah. Patches, I am trying out for the first time, and I've never tried it before, the system logging muffling patches from WebOS Eternals at the behest of the guys I was talking to on Twitter last night.
Yeah.
It basically turns off all the extra logging. Apparently, WebOS 2.0 has a ton more logging than it ought to. I can't say if I'm seeing a significant speed difference or not. That might be, but it's not so significant that I'm like, whoa! But, you know, I'm logging less crap to my phone,
Yay.
which is good, I guess.
Okay.
That's my patch.
All right, well, I have no specific patches to talk about, so I'm loading up freeware here, and I'm going to pick a random patch to talk about.
Random patch.
Patches available.
I don't patch anymore,
and
so.
Scroll tap. Oh, that's not a one I can actually talk about. I'm going to talk about the browser scroll bar.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, the browser scroll bar puts a scroll bar in your browser. It's not actually one that you can tap on and scroll with, but it adds a bar along the side of the browser that you can then see your position within the page. So, yeah, that's nice.
That would be nice. All right. Email. The email.
Our first email comes
a lot of
from...
Let's hear Derek introduce the email for real.
For real.
For real?
Like, give us damn, that's really the email happening.
Dude, man, email.
All the way. Right?
It's so intense.
That's
Our
pretty
first
good.
email comes from Chris, who writes, just listened to last week's podcast, and already you're doing another one.
Aha!
Thought I'd have enough time to respond more thoughtfully and to just wait a little longer vibe I got from last week's show, but instead I'll just tell you why just wait a little longer isn't working. I bought a Sprint Pre about 18 months ago, not because it was a competitor to the iPhone, but because it did almost everything I needed it to do. At the time I was using a Motorola feature phone on Verizon. Those phones did everything I needed it to do in 1995, but the Pre did mostly everything I needed it to do in 2009, except for, voice dialing.
Hey, it's coming.
Yeah, I jumped to Sprint and my first smartphone. I loved the cheaper price plans and my Palm Pre until a few months ago when my Pre broke. Now I'm on my second Pre. It's already starting to fall apart and I need to take it into the Sprint store. Guess what? They don't have any Pre's. No Pre minuses, no Pre plus, no Pre 2. They may be able to get me a replacement Pre in a week or two. In the meantime, I hope the touchscreen continues to work. It's not working so great in the cold. With a 2-year contract, my options are limited. If I stay with Sprint and the Pre, I can limp along, assuming that I can get a replacement, hoping a new phone, and not just an announcement, will be available in mid-January, or I can pay some money now and jump up to an Android phone that will work through the holidays and the next couple of years. I really don't care if it's Sprint's fault or Palm's fault or HP's fault, but to not have any Pre available while I just sit here and wait a little longer for some date in the future, it's not acceptable. By the time the new phones come around, I may be locked into a 2-year contract with a competitor. Sorry.
Okay, so first of all, that is a ridiculous failure on Sprint and Palm's part. To not have replacement units available. I don't care how EOL it is, and if you're not going to have an upgrade available to it, I mean, that's a mistake. You're losing a customer right now because Chris isn't going to be able to hang on.
No, Chris's only option if he really wants to hang on is to grab one off of eBay.
Yeah.
And that's not an acceptable option for something that came out less than 2 years ago.
Yeah, so I wish I had an answer for you, Chris. If you want to stick with WebOS, hang on as long as you can. But, if you need to stay on Sprint, then stay on Sprint, and you'll need to go with an Android phone because Palm and Sprint aren't giving you anything to buy or switch out to. That's a major fail.
Bruce writes, how about you have a discussion on calendar and tasks in which smartphones/OSs do these things best? I started with a Palm 5X because of the PIMs, and I love the setup through the Trio line. Now, crapola. It seems like no one is doing this well. I may not be informed enough, so how about you all enlighten me? I've noticed that other listeners informed people feel this way, but there's no love coming from the players on this vital issue. Instead, it's all video and sparkly, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
Bruce,
it's tough. Everybody
you don't
has
need to be
different
enlightened.
needs, right?
Bruce does not need to be enlightened because he already knows.
I mean, I'd like to see little improvements around the periphery, but there hasn't been any really big innovation in the PIM space in a while, right?
Well, no, it doesn't need to be innovative. It needs to be solid.
Like, what do you want? Just faster?
I want all the options that I had in my old Palm OS calendar.
Right.
I want to be able to set an exact number of minutes for my alarm before an event, not just pick between 5, 10, 15, 30 in an hour and a day.
Does Android do that?
I want to be able to set an event to an exact number of minutes without having to patch my phone.
Yeah. Sam, like Chris, also has a Sprint Palm Pre that is starting to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
And if it says if there's not a WebOS phone by CES, he's going to have to go switch to Android. Does he think that there's going to be a mass exodus away from Palm if they disappoint at CES? Well, we've already said we think CES might be a little bit quiet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the mass exodus away from Palm on Sprint has already happened.
Yeah, I would say a lot have. And
those that are the type that would leave for a new phone outside of contract have already done so. Those that are the contract type people, well, they don't care. They're going to wait until they get their discount in another 6 to 8 months, and then they will jump ship on Sprint, or jump ship from Palm to stay on Sprint to something else if there's not an available option that they like.
And I think that we've kind of touched base on this, that it just seems that, that Palm, because of their troubles that they've had over the past year, that they are allowing this opportune time to slip by, and it does make me sad.
Jonathan writes, do these features exist, or are they possible in WebOS 2.0? Universal search or just type actions, so viewing a call log when you last called somebody. No, and this is a problem that I have with Synergy in general, is that they're falling behind Android in this space, and they're actually falling behind Windows Phone in this space. Like when I go to a contact card, it doesn't show the last communication I had with them. It doesn't show their most recent status updates. It doesn't show,
you should be able to, Twitter was in universal search from the start, but yet it's never been really integrated into the phone.
Well, yeah, but I mean integrated into the contact card.
Yeah, I mean by integrate in such a way that you could pull up that person's contact and see this is what they just posted on Twitter. Here's what their Facebook status is. Here's the last email you had from them. You last called them 5 days ago at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
That should be there, but it's not.
And yeah, most recent call, it's not there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jonathan also wants to know if there's a program to offer contact linking suggestions based on broader criteria. No, contact linking works pretty much the same, but if it makes you feel any better, it isn't any worse or better than what's available on the other platforms as far as contact linking goes. Doesn't
I disagree.
Really? Dude, I have such problems with it on Moto Blur and Android 2.3 and Android 2.2. And
I feel like you get nicknames much better.
HTC, Motorola, and base Android all do a terrible job of contact linking for me.
It's weird. It usually gets it dead on for me.
Mm.
I have people nickname the wrong things, but it looks up phone numbers instead for me. So if the Facebook phone number matches the contact phone number, it'll link it that way. Because I have nicknames for people. So like my friend Fuzzy's in there. It's not, but he's Chris on Facebook. It linked him through his phone number, but it found him, which is something that WebOS didn't do for me. Interesting. I'm sorry. I feel like you deserve a hug over this because you've had a negative experience.
I've had a terrible experience.
Oh.
Hugs. But if people out there need hugs, or you're feeling lonely and you want to talk to us, we need you to shoot us an email. Send it over to podcast@precentral.net, and we might just send some virtual hugs and even possibly answer it, but mainly virtual hugs.
Wow, look at the Keith Newman handling, the little announcement.
Keith does slugs really well.
Yeah.
Right, and that would segue like a champ.
Yeah, but you didn't mention the lightning round, that they could also tweet us, and that we're going to read those now.
Yes.
But I did. It was already there. You didn't even know it.
it was lightning, and then we had to wait for the thunder to get here.
And Musamu
Exactly.
has got a bunch of tweets. Is there a patch that lets you add a buttoned pre-installed replies like in the car in a meeting? No, but WebOS 2.0 does let you set those up with little keyboard shortcuts, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was something that was in PalmOS that I kind of miss.
Yeah, well, you get it with WebOS 2.0 when it shows
Not really. No, I don't mean the shortcuts. I mean that I could reply to a call and say reply with text.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. That would be nice to see. And that was in Windows Mobile, too, and that doesn't exist in Windows Phone anymore. That feature, maybe nobody used it. Maybe that's why
I
they took
used it
away.
all the time. I'm in a movie, somebody calls me, send that, put the phone away.
Do you have any influence with HP? You make great arguments week after week. Is anybody at HP with poll listening? No.
Mm-mm.
I think
No,
Mark
they don't
Hurd
listen.
was listening, but he's gone now.
Yeah, Mark Hurd, he was an avid listener. Actually, at the time, Rahul Sud was listening.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
I'm sure that there are some people within HP and Palm that are listening. We don't
John
know who they
Rubenstein,
are.
if you're listening, I want you to send a voicemail introduction to us just to prove that you're listening.
We will
The way
use
to do
it
it
every
is
week.
Dial 877-624-9162, extension 222. That's 877-624-9162, extension 222. We really want an introduction from John Rubenstein. That would change my life. AJ Borley wants a good tower defense game on WebOS. Man, ooh, that's I feel like stupid. I don't have a good answer for that.
I like Rednecks versus Aliens, but it's not really sort of tower defense.
Yeah.
It's sort of like one tower defense. I think Virus Defense.
Virus defense is out there, yeah, but it's not super awesome. We need a good PDK tower defense game. And
Could
I'm
happen.
like,
It'd be really easy to make happen.
Joe Mobobo says, do you think Enyo's going to cause a drop in app count since Palm's going to require all apps to be rewritten? No, Palm is not going to require apps to be rewritten in Enyo. And they made that clear to me when they announced Enyo, that they're going to, Mojo, which is the development framework that they use now, is not going away right away. It might eventually. It'll be plenty of time, though, for developers to move their stuff over to Enyo.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't need to worry or panic that your app is suddenly going to need to be completely rewritten when they release Enyo. So no fears there.
Yeah, we're not going to pull a classic here.
Well, even Classic was handled pretty well on Mac, don't you think? Oh, you know, Classic. I was thinking OS 9.
Yeah, Classic Mac worked really well. Classic WebOS.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sushi Sharon, why are apps in the app catalog $1 more than in other app places? I like to support devs, but I also like my budget.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the market, my friend. That might be the lightning speed lightning round.
That is it.
Yeah, I mean, what else could you say? Yeah, well, let's do. I want to know if we could do patch requests of the week. And this week is no screen off when flash playing. Oh, that might be neat. Leave the screen on if you've got flash playing. I
I don't know. I just might have missed this. Again, it was brought up. We've had it said. Why are Sushi Charon brings it up this week? Why are apps in the app catalog $1 more than in other app places like the App Store or Market? I like to support devs, but also like my budget, and that is simply because of market share.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they have to justify the development of the game for the smaller market share of WebOS right now.
Yeah, it'll change, maybe. We'll see. But there's.
I think we get tablet, it'll change immensely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That is the end of the PalmCast. If you're listening to this before the 22nd, Wednesday, maybe I'll get this thing published tomorrow. I probably won't. But if you're listening live, then you can go to the Pre-Central store, our sponsor. They're offering free shipping on orders over $50. And until the 22nd, orders over $50, you can get 2-day air shipping for $5.95, which is a pretty good deal. We haven't plugged the store in a while, so I thought it was time. As Keith mentioned earlier, you can send us an email. It's podcast@precentral.net. That phone number I left earlier, if you want to leave us an introduction to the show, is 877-624-9162, extension 222. and just say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I use this phone, you're listening to the PalmCast, unique, funny thing here. That's how we want it to be. And thanks to everybody in the chat for listening. Thanks to Keith and Derek, and we'll catch you guys soonish.
Be good. Happy New Year. If we don't see you then.
Bye.
Yeah, I should have mentioned the deadline that's going to pass before the podcast actually gets published. What is oh, there it is. Ha, found you.
Huh?
What did you guys think of? What did you guys think of Tron?
Tron? I enjoyed
Good.
Tron.
Tron's awesome. Anybody who hated on Tron needs to be wrong. What were you gonna say?
I thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I don't know if I expected too much, right? I don't know if I thought like this can go
Wait.
so
Hold on for a moment. Lisa, you have not seen Tron? What are you doing here?
disowned. Ugh.
Go watch it now.
Ugh. One more time.
Anyway, you were saying.
Ugh. It could have gone so many ways. I mean, they could have just done like a really, really cheesy, rehash. But the storyline really was very believable in terms of, the continuity of it.
Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. I had meant to rewatch Tron, the original, before going to see it, but I didn't get around to it. And I got to be honest, I kind of want Jeff Bridges' glowing cloak. I think it was badass.
That was, actually.
So they wrote those fillers.
I almost just totally went ultra nerd on you guys, but I stopped.
Do it.
Go for it.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
Move on.
Oh, please, come on. I'm still recording.
I had a D&D character with a glowing cloak. It was bioluminescent. It gave me special powers.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's what when I saw his glowing cloak, I'm like, oh yeah, I had that. That's nothing special.
It's special now. That's the
Yeah. Wow.
So that was a fun little treat for me. 3D was really good. The 3D was done at the appropriate times. Could have.
Oh, so it was more like Avatar 3D instead of Transformers 3D?
No, it was better than Avatar 3D because the movie didn't suck.
Yeah, I liked Avatar when it was called Ferngully.
No, I was talking about the technical 3D aspect.
Yeah, and in fact, it was better than Avatar because the problem with 3D is that the screen is darker because you're looking at it through the polarized lenses. And in Avatar, it was frustrating because like, oh, this should be really bright and pretty, but it's not. It looks kind of dark because I'm looking at it through these stupid glasses. But with Tron, the whole palette was dark with these glowing lights and LED things jumping out at you, and the movement was in the contrast, and the action was in the watching the lights move around. And so the 3D for me worked much better in Tron because it did a much better job of dealing with the practical, pragmatic problem of the screen just looking darker to the audience.
You need to get mad at your local theater for having Avatar too dark because, what's his face? James Cameron, when he cut that for 3D, specifically cut it so it was brighter for the 3D films.
Yeah, I failed at that.
Yeah, and again, the 3D was, like I said, done in such a way that I don't feel like it was a gimmick. It wasn't like, hey, I mean, Tron was about light cycles and things exploding and it looking cool, so it was either going to be It was the difference between a movie shown in 3D and a 3D movie. Right. It wasn't pop, it wasn't...
It says 3D needs a few more years, and then it will still suck.
It is a gimmick. Of course it's a gimmick.
Yeah. Movie theaters are a gimmick.
Right. Everything's a gimmick at getting your money. It's just how much it feels, how cheesy it feels. IMAX is a gimmick.
Yeah, Sushi, what was that disclaimer at the beginning? Oh, there are some of these scenes are in 2D and they were like meant to be seen that way or something. What was that about?
It was like saying like, don't be all disappointed if we don't keep throwing crap into your face all night long.
Yeah, right.
And I'm kind of glad they didn't. You know what I get actually a kick out of, and it's cheesy, but when the coming attract. By the way, there was a billion coming attractions for this movie.
It went on and on and on and on.
But I like when they show 3D coming attractions because it's the green screen that says this is a coming attraction is like hovering in front of you.
Yes, yes.
I don't know why, but I love that.
It's so you know this is supposed to be in 3D.
Oh, right, I know why they're doing it, but for some reason it's like, oh, this is great. And B-Rad said Glassless 3D is coming. It's out, but it's not.
Glassless 3D, it's coming for TVs. Glassless 3D theaters are a different matter.
Right, you can't produce it.
You know what?
No,
you know what?
B-Rad, it is
Actually,
out. You can get Glassless 3D for your
Glassless
TV.
3D for without like where you can get it right now. Outside.
Oh, outside is not 3D. 3D is only in theaters and with big glasses on your TV.
First of all, outside is a myth, okay?
Really?
Yeah, I went out there one time. It's not so cool.
There's snow out there right now.
Yeah, what's this about? We're supposed to get some snow for Christmas, what?
Yeah, apparently.
I don't know what that's about.
I'm not sure what to make of it.
Wait, so like seriously, there's like I heard there's like a ton of snow in all these areas with it's not even Christmas. It's not even winter yet, or it's today.
Yeah, I shoveled my driveway this morning for the 3rd time this winter.
That's nuts.
I know.
Yeah, but seriously, it's been cold too. Like it's
Yeah,
like
what's it down in Miami?
65 degrees right now.
That is
no wonder
actually.
you're wearing a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah,
It must be downright frigid there.
it is chilly.
Oh, that reminds. It's funny. It's like go after yourself.
He'll be
What?
warm when he does it.
I'm gonna go and turn off the podcast.
Well, you really can't because it's come from Derek, so Derek's gonna do it.
Booyah.
What, brother?
This PalmCast is going to keep going. Even if it's just me. Oh, yeah.
Solo cast.
I'm going to go
Oh,
grab
wow,
some
my-
socks.
Why,
It's going
why,
to be
did,
a sock cast.
Yeah,
why is my
what?
Ustream frozen?
I don't know.
I didn't stop the broadcast.
No, if you'd stopped the broadcast, you would have just disappeared.
How weird is that?
Very weird.
I mean, you technically could stop the broadcast. Dieter, I miss you.
I miss you too. I'm even busting out Sock Dieter in stealth mode.
Oh my God, he's doing blackface.
Yeah. It's kind of racist.
Kind of. I am highly insulted for black socks everywhere.
It's actually Ninja Dieter.
Is it?
Yes.
By the way,
Yeah.
I was
You're still broadcasting.
showing Fruit Ninja off to the family over the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and my nephew totally loves my ninja noises.
Your ninja noises. Let's hear.
That's
Let's hear your ninja noises, and
He thinks my ninja noises are the most awesome thing ever.
your ninja noises are so awesome they just knocked your paper glasses off.
So wait, I was just about to say thank you, Brad. Ninjas don't make noises.
No,
That's,
they don't.
They do when they're showing off the babies.
the only time they make noise is after you're dead, so you wouldn't even know it happened.
Yeah, pretty much.
Seriously, I want those glasses.
They are pretty awesome. They've even got tape on them to make them shiny where the lenses are.
You, sir, are seriously dedicated to the craft. I'm not sure what the craft is.
It is just the craft.
Oh,
But
I'm a
broadcast
craftsman.
We started it, and it's still.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Yeah.
That's why I've got Sock Dieter here.
You're making that face that's creeping my soul.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that.
Apparently, Sock Dieter, his definition is not so good on the webcam here, so people can't see that he's speaking.
Dieter, blink if you love me. Oh, that's just great. That's just great. You don't love me? Oh, that's awesome.
Whoa.
That's
That
great.
worked, right?
Yeah.
That works, yeah.
I don't have one, do I? You don't have one of me, right?
Actually, I Do I still have your hat? I do have your hat.
Oh, seriously.
Oh, this is perfect, actually. Let's check it out. Got a little brown hat to match yours.
What did you make? What did you make that out of?
Paper.
That is pretty creepy. What, are my eyes closed?
I never had any eyes for you because you wore a white sock.
Oh, so I gotta be white. Wait.
Or you got to be a ninja.
Right, no, I am white.
Except that.
I want to see your feet. I want to know if you are wearing a sock right now. Because
There's one. And
you're wearing
the other.
It's his actual sock.
Yeah.
The dude took off his sock for this bit. That can't be sanitary. I just had a feeling that was an actually used sock.
Derek wins forever.
I just... Ugh. I think that's the PalmCast, dude. I have nothing else to say.
All right, we'll end it.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you.